Shut up and sit down.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Nerdsplaining podcast. I'm your host, Eric Da Silva. With me, as always, is my co-host, Jose Romero.
How you doing, big bro?
Oh man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. We've been gone unintentionally for a little bit. We're sorry, but the boys are back in town, and we're sorry about that too.
Life happens, whatever, technical difficulties.
So many things.
Whatever.
So many
it
things.
Is what it is. We're on vacation. How's that?
Did you guys ever hear about when two guys and a girl like a Chinese finger trap? It had nothing to do with that, but I just wanted to know if you guys heard about it because it's a fun story to hear. But we'll talk about that later. Today we have so much to talk about, so much nerd things to enjoy, and as always, before we get to our regular routine of the stuff that we saw, Posey's going to tantalize us with those nerdy news nuggets. A little appetizer.
Hors d'oeuvres, if you will, because today we usually talk about 2 shows. Now we're talking about 4 shows today. So it's like a 4-course meal with appetizer, really salad, main course, and dessert. And dessert will not be Titans.
Thank God.
All the Titans. Well, we'll get the Titans.
Let's
not jump the gun here. Let's get the hors d'oeuvres. Let's get the nuggets out. Sure. So we'll dive into that. And yeah, this stuff happened over the last couple of weeks. But since we haven't been on air, we haven't spoken about it.
We're touching a few things.
Exactly. Why not bring it up?
That sounds inappropriate. But yeah, we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about a few things. There you go. See.
So let's get started. The first one here is some hate. So we got to address some hate. And apparently Martin Scorsese not only invited Steven Dorff to dinner, but now he's invited Denis Villeneuve, of course, the director of Dune, upcoming October. Which we're excited about, and I love Denis Villeneuve. I think he's
a solid director.
He's really good. He's top 2 or 3 for me currently, not all time. Currently, right now. Currently, he's that good. Blade Runner was great, and Arrival. I love the Arrival.
Fun, well put together, excellently executed. Like there's no part of his recent filmography that shows that he does not care 110% about everything he puts to screen.
Well, he does. So when you hear stuff like this, it's kind of disappointing. Because I hold him in high regard, but nonetheless, I guess he was being interviewed. This came out on set with the trades and all that, and I guess they asked him about his outlook on, as far as cinema, some of the big budget films, if he's pessimistic about, what's going on and all that. So he had to open his big fat mouth, unfortunately. And there's one thing you don't want to do, and you can. I mean, at the end of the day, it might not be a big deal, but you're pissing off the nerd community. They're pretty vocal. The nerd community is very sensitive, and then I get it, right? Yeah. It's the kids, DC Marvel, it's their children. They grow up with it. They don't want. Absolutely. Like your kids, you can talk shit about them, but you don't want to let someone else talk bad about your kids, right? That's how it works.
Oh yeah.
Same thing here, and which is ill-advised, given that his next movie, Dune, I would suspect that the nerd community is behind the demographic of that film.
A little bit of the key demographic that you're leaning on.
Exactly. So I guess that when he's asked about it, he said, and I quote here, perhaps the problem is that we are in front of too many Marvel movies that are nothing more than cut and paste of others. Perhaps these types of movies have turned us into zombies a bit. But big and expensive movies of great value, there are many today, apparently not Marvel films, I don't feel capable of being pessimistic at all. So he's throwing all kinds of shade here. And I'll say this.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, you don't have to like Marvel. You don't have to like superhero films. I get it, right? It's not everyone's cup of tea. When Scorsese said what he said of last year, and even Steven Dorff, I get it. You don't have to like it. Scorsese said it was like an amusement ride and all that. And he's not, technically he's not wrong in a sense. I get what he's trying to say.
Even though they recently said that he actually enjoyed the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, the first 2.
Right, the first 2. Right,
exactly. So
but
even that has a carte blanche.
Yeah, it's not his thing. Right. Exactly. So it's not his thing. You don't have to like it, and that's fine. No one says this. If someone would ask you, hey, do you like superhero? You want to do one? Nah, that's not my thing, and move on, right? Sure. There's a certain thing about when you're in the industry, and I'll equate this to sports. I'm a sports fan, and other players generally don't talk shit about the players. They don't say everything about LeBron James. Oh, that guy sucks. They'll say, oh, he's really good. I respect his game. Inside he may feel something different, but you don't. Sure. You don't say it. You just don't say it. These guys who are in the industry have the respect because people who are working doing these films. You never know who's going to be doing these films. A lot of directors, even Nolan, who I consider the top right now, got his big break or his name out there because of superhero films.
Robert Downey Jr.
Jr. Yeah, we got what's it? Chloe. Is it Chloe? What's her name? Chloe Zhao. of course, who just won the Oscar. Now she's getting the Eternals, right? So it's
right.
Listen, you gotta eat. You gotta make these movies. That's
Chris
fine.
Pratt, dude. Chris Pratt was just a TV guy, and then he did Star-Lord, and now he's a movie star.
People know who the Russo brothers are, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Patty Jenkins, who was an Academy Award with Monster, won an award for Monster. She's doing Wonder Woman.
When nothing,
right?
She was
right.
Nothing.
She was nowhere, exactly. And you can't say this, man. Listen, first of all, I'm not saying the cut and pasting is right or wrong. There is some truth to that. I get it. There is.
Like Black Widow felt a little bit
right. And it happens. It's the same kind of formula, same look. I get it, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing, but it's true. And that's not. I mean, again, doesn't mean you have to come out and say it, because then you say, oh, but there are big budget films out there worth something. Basically means my movie. That's what it sounds like to me.
Right, exactly.
Like Dune.
Blade Runner is totally right. Which, by the way, Batista. But whatever.
Right.
And the only reason you know Batista is because of Guardians. So fuck you, Danny, a little bit.
I don't understand why they do that. Stay quiet. You don't have to like it. Just shut the fuck up. Don't have to say anything about it. Don't throw shit, because it looks bad. It looks bad. You're in the same industry. You know what I'm saying?
It looks petty.
It really does.
Because you're already A-level. So like, who are you trying to take down for the next step? If that's the only reason to be petty is because someone's getting something you're not. Like you are doing a massive blockbuster Dune, which, by the way, half your cast is in a Marvel and DC movie,
you're right.
By the way, too.
Probably three-fourths of the cast.
And the only reason you're working with these people is because they did those stupid fucking Marvel and DC movies. They made them go, oh, this guy's a star now. Right. So fuck you, Danny. Seriously.
And even listen, and at the end of the day, these with the DC, Marvel, Sony, the big temple films, Fast 9, whatever, they are what you like them, don't like them, fine. But those are the ones that pay the bills.
Yeah,
you can't make the smaller films. Chloe Zhao doesn't get a movie made if there's no, end game, bankrolling the studios, because that's how they make their money. They take that money and they make smaller films, and they don't have to make that much money on it because the money's being supplemented to these other big films. That's how it works. You don't make Dune. If Warner Bros. Tanked every film in the last 2 years, Dune ain't getting done made. It's not. It's not. Of course not. So you need these superhero films, like them or not. To supplement
granted,
everything else.
To be fair, he is working at Warner Brothers, so their superhero track record not the best.
But
so maybe
not the best, but maybe he's. I don't know. I mean, it's odd. I know nerds ran with this, and I get it, and I really hope. And it's a bad choice, because I want Dune to do well. If nothing else, not for him, because I want to see a second part. I heard the movie's really good. And this movie doesn't do well financially. Let's be honest, it's not going to make a second film. And my concern is Denis Villeneuve artistically is great, but he hasn't hit the commercial success of someone like Spielberg or Nolan has. He doesn't.
He's got the critical success.
Right.
All the
but
critics
doesn't have the commercial
are all
success.
About.
Right.
But most people don't know who he is.
His movie Blade Runner was a bust. It just was. It was great.
I
loved it, but it was when
but
Arrival
nerds
made okay.
liked that Blade Runner. And
nerds
indie people liked Arrival. Course, even though it was a studio movie, it really was more like an indie flick than anything else.
And it did okay because of the Oscar buzz. But listen, he's not. He's not there. He's not there. Look, Nolan can do anything. He's gonna make money. That's just how it works. Spielberg, whatever. Most of the time he does. Tarantino usually makes money. He's not there yet. He's not, and it is what it is. And this is his chance to be. This is his chance to. Oh, that guy. He could be. This could be.
It's so weird that he's crapping on something when his two big tickets to success have been sci-fi. So why
big budget
crap on the genre? Right. Like it's just dumb, dude.
Yeah, it's odd. Whatever. Listen, I really hope that. I don't think it's gonna have a big effect. I'm sure some party kind of will, but
it's a
bad look. It's a bad look.
It's gonna be the thing in the back of every nerd's mind of like, no, this guy's clearly more artsy. This guy in his head thinks he's artsy, but he comes out fartsy.
Yeah,
and that's just gonna be. And it's gonna be.
He's a great filmmaker. I'm not disputing that. He is a great filmmaker. He is, and Dune may, put him as number 2 director. Who knows, right? This is gonna put him on the map. If this is a huge blockbuster, now he's that guy. He's a Nolan guy. He's a Spielberg guy. Now his name. Now he's getting both critical and success. Let's see, but shut the fuck up. Come on, man. Jeez, it's so annoying. It really is. Steven Scorsese, all you guys, lock him in the room. I God forbid the day when Marvel DC announced, the next project directed by Denis Villeneuve. Oh my God, the internet community is gonna go bonkers.
I don't want that to happen. if it does happen, I want them to fire him immediately afterwards. Like they hired him and then they
I want
fired
to
him.
happen
Like
because I want to hear the
afterwards.
nerds go nuts. Number one, I want to hear what he has to say about all of a sudden. No, now I'm sure he'll explain like, well, I can make a movie. What's
Only
worthwhile. Who
I
knows,
can do
right?
it because I'm David.
Which will be worse, to be perfectly honest with you. But I don't mind him doing it because he's a good filmmaker and he'll probably make a pretty good movie. Let's not kid ourselves. From that
I mean,
standpoint.
visually, it'll look great.
No, yeah, absolutely.
It'll be competent, but seriously, I don't want to help the guy.
I
I'll watch
don't either.
Dune.
It's annoying.
I'm gonna watch Dune with my arms crossed now. Like I want to see it, but the whole time I'm like, oh man, if everyone is successful except the director, that'd be great. Like I just whatever.
He's
Okay,
amazing acting, but directing sucked.
let's move on because I can't take.
Let's move on. Too much happier.
It's gonna make me get triggered.
So let's move on because we had two big trailers that came out recently, and I'm gonna pose a question at the end after we talked about both of them. But let's talk about the first one, Disney Plus, Marvel. Sure. Speaking of which, Marvel, Daily Villeneuve's new favorite show coming up, and that's Hawkeye, coming out in November. And this trailer drops. So, Eric, I'll let you take lead on this as far as what you thought about this bad boy here.
You know what? I've been talking about this show for weeks leading up to the fact that we knew the show was going to be released, and I kept saying I really hope that they base the show off Matt Fraction's run off Hawkeye. I really hope if they do anything, let it be based off Matt Fraction's run off of Hawkeye. It is like 60 to 70% Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, to the point that the logo for the show was the logo from the comic book. They don't do that. For all the shows have original logos. That logo is straight from the Matt Fraction run. Tone, like, there's a lot of characters you see from the series. I already saw like the Tracksuit Mafia, Pizza Dog. You even see Hawkeye with a hearing aid because of the comics. He lost his hearing. And that's something he has to deal with. So there's a bunch of stuff that's
Let me ask you this real quick.
Sure.
Is there Steve Rogers musical in the comic book?
There has been.
Oh, because that looks epic.
That looks, I mean...
That's something I want to see, but I'm sorry to interrupt. I just have to bring it up there.
Spider-Man, turn off the dark and go see Steve Rogers, the musical, because that's how it is. It looks great. It looks fantastic. But what's crazy about this is that they took all this great Matt Fraction stuff that's going to be super relatable and fun to watch and the whole thing, and then they made it feel like the first two Die Hards, and like that combination, very Christmassy, very action juxtaposition. Like first two Die Hards, if you do the first Lethal Weapon, anytime there's like an action, Iron Man 3, all Shane Black movies, by the way, but just that right combination of Christmas time and merriment and joy and family, and then like crazy over the top violence. Like I love that. I feel like that is such a great sweet spot type of genre that anytime it's done right, and I really do include Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, and Iron Man 3 in that genre of like great Christmassy action movies. It just feels like it all kind of works together, and I feel like Hawkeye is a new entry into that, and I'm super psyched about it because it does feel like I mean, in a sense, Hawkeye is John McClane. He is nonstop. Listen.
Take a breath.
Listen. First of all, Hawkeye now is way more John McClane than John McClane is now. So let's
listen. Me and you are more John McClane. John McClane is now. However,
obviously,
we're talking about at the peak of the power. You just can't compare one to John McClane. I'm sorry.
In the comics, there's this great. There's a run of comics called the Ultimates. On Ultimates Volume 2, these like terrorists have kidnapped Hawkeye. They killed his family. That's how fucking crazy it is. So he's like over the top insane, almost like an Endgame level crazy. And they're like surrounding him, and they're like, "We're gonna kill you, and we're gonna have you see these monitors so you can see us kill all your friends, all the Avengers. We're gonna kill them now, and there's nothing you can do about it." And one by one, these guards start like grabbing their necks and bleeding for no reason, and start dropping down. I was like, "What the fuck?" And when they turn around, like one of their eyes pop, and it's like, what the hell is going on? And they're like, where is Hawkeye? Where's Hawkeye? And when the cameras move to see where Hawkeye is, he has He's still stuck in the chair. He's strapped down, but he's flicking the nails off his fingers into their arteries and in their eyes, and that's how he's killing them. He's like, "You sons of bitches!" And then since his hand is bleeding, he's wiggling out of the straps. He's like, "I'm gonna kill every last one of you." I'm like, "Holy shit!" Like that's my Hawkeye. Like, so when I see Hawkeye there, especially when you saw him go a little Ronin in Endgame, I was like, "That's my Hawkeye. That's the Hawkeye that I want to see." So I truly feel he's like John McClane, because he's the guy like, it doesn't matter how hard you stop him, he's going to keep coming at you. He's not Black Widow. He's not Captain America. He's not Black Panther. He's John McClane. John McClane.
Stop it.
John McClane, but with bows and arrows. And that's why I like Hawkeye as a character.
I like Hawkeye.
And to me,
Hawkeye gets to the 12th, 15th floor of Nakatomi Building. That's it.
He goes all the way.
He just doesn't do it.
He goes all the way.
I wish that were the case, man. Maybe him and Black Widow together. And him solo, don't happen. Sorry. It is what it is. Like, he's hanging out he's talking about Argyle in the limo with the teddy bear underneath. That's where Hawkeye's at.
Not only does Hawkeye make it up to the top of the Nakatomi building, he never even steps on glass. Yeah. That's how
he's hanging out. He's hanging out the Family Matters father, eating Twinkies in the squad car.
He's that good that his feet don't even get cut. Like, that's like, it's not even a problem for him. He looks at John McClane like, "What are you? Jesus, come on, seriously, step up."
Blasphemy! I tell you. The trailer was good. I liked the trailer. I wasn't blown away by it. It's just. No, it was very cookie cutter, copy and paste. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll tell you what. To me, it feels like this is going to be the type of show that Falcon and Winter Soldier could have been if they were allowed to do what they wanted to, and the pandemic didn't fuck it up. Like, they're getting to do their version of it, and it's going to be completely uncut. It's like, what's going to be like? It's like What If? It's like Loki. It's like they've gone over the hump of scheduling issues and having to do rewrites, and now they'll be able to produce exactly what they want to produce. And I'm not even talking about the rumors of like the fact that there's a rumor that Vincent D'Onofrio is going to show up as Kingpin. It's going to be his big intro to it. There's rumors that they're going to introduce the Echo character as well, and that's why they're showing he has a
the Echo is supposed to be in it. They already showed footage, like stills of her acting in this.
Kingpin is in the Matt Fraction run.
Okay.
So, like, to me, I'm like, this is like, especially there's a scene in the trailer where it looks like there's like there's a wall that's exploding in like a wine cellar, but like these rows of chairs. So it looks like it's some sort of presentation. And in the Matt Fraction run, there was a storyline where they were selling a video where Hawkeye killed like a dictator for S.H.I.E.L.D. He was on a S.H.I.E.L.D. mission, and he killed a dictator. So they were going to sell the rights to the video to whichever villain wanted to do with that video, to blackmail him, to release it into the public, whatever he wanted, they were doing. And Kingpin was one of the people bidding on it. Kingpin is also responsible for the death of Echo's dad. So there's like a lot of things reaffirming why, like, he's not going to be the biggest bad of it, but like, I think you're going to see him for the first time sort of establishing that he's in control, more or less, of the crime network, either New York or the America, whatever you wanted to show how the level of like his kingpinniness could be. But that I really do think that I have a very good feeling, more than Mephisto in WandaVision. I have a very good feeling that Kingpin's going to show up in this. So. Yeah,
that to me, that's a straight rumor. The Echo she's gonna be in it, but then I don't buy the whole D'Onofrio thing. Not at this point. But let's see. You never know. But the other trailer we want to get to here. This is another big one. This is one where, if you're not excited, I get it. You have every reason not to be excited about this film, and that is the new Matrix movie, Matrix Resurrections, right?
Oddly enough, we tried to record our review of the Matrix trailer, and due to technical issues, we couldn't release it. So maybe it is the Matrix. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
We should have taken the red pill that day. But so here's part 4. Here we go, and again, we should not be excited. And I gotta tell you, this trailer actually worked for me, man. I'm not as far as saying I'm excited, really, but I thought it was a really good initial trailer. What you thought?
You know what I liked about this trailer is that it made me feel like I watched the trailer from 1999. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening in it,
right?
But I want to see it. Yeah. And that's exactly what this trailer made me feel. Like, I mean, talk about the greatest reboot opportunity ever is to show a trailer that makes you feel like you're remember-bearing how trailers used to be, where they don't give you the whole plot, but you're like, oh, that's a lot of fun stuff there. I kind of know some stuff there. I don't know a lot of stuff here. I want to see what's going to happen next. Cool. Did you hear that what the release date's going to be?
It's December 21st, I think.
No, it's December 22nd,
22nd?
21. So it is what's the thing where it spells backwards and forwards at the same time?
Is it a palindrome? No.
I think it's a palindrome. Yeah, I think it's a palindrome.
I don't know.
I think so.
Like
it's not onomatopoeia is when you spell the word that
but right,
sound.
It goes back. Yeah.
But I think it's a palindrome. But yeah, it's 12, 22, 21, which turns to 12, 22, 21. That's like cool. It is. If you're gonna do a Matrix movie, you could almost not pick a better date than that. So I love the fact that this trailer leans into more the feel of Matrix 1 than it does 2 and 3. You know, very much like you don't know what kind of world you're in. You don't know what to expect. You may have inklings of things, but they're going to reinterpret what you think you know in a completely different way. The fact that you saw scenes from the other movies in this trailer, like being like projected onto the walls and stuff like that. I've heard this idea a lot, and I completely agree with it. Which is like, what if this new version of the Matrix original trilogy, has been reinterpreted as like an IP, and that's why the world knows the Matrix. So it's easier to keep people under control, whatever that new system that they've developed for this. Like, I think this is now the 7th version of the Matrix, right?
We can assume that. Again, depends what take they have on this. I don't, like I said, it's right. Obviously from what I heard, obviously they rebooted the system, or whatever the case is. They re-injected Neo in there. I think the blue pills, obviously, they keep showing the blue pill. He's being subdued.
Yeah,
and all that.
It's way too many blue pills.
It's so bad. He's got to go see Doogie, gets therapy and all that. I love Doogie.
Which, by the way, who doesn't want to see the new reboot of Doogie Howser and Doogie? He's a therapist. I'm
all in. When I saw him, like, oh hell yeah, man! Just from the beginning, I'm good.
I kind of
But we got like a different version of Morpheus.
Right.
I guess it's Morpheus in a different skin. Something along those lines. I don't know. Something like that. I guess. Because it's Morpheus, clearly.
I'm not sure if it's in this trailer, if one of those like the red pill, blue pill site that they had, where you actually see like a digitized version of Morpheus coming into existence. Right. It's not like, so, you know, is this based on a memory, like it's a copy of a memory, or is it like something that they've like their version of what they think Morpheus is based on his history that they've recorded? Who knows what it is?
I know level of control. It could be. We don't know if he's really like they're legit to help him out, or he's there to maintain. You know.
Why did they invite Lawrence Fishburne? It's like, because Lawrence Fishburne looks like he ate Morpheus. Like, that's why.
he ate Zion. Zion was good to me. So
yeah, I love Lawrence Fishburne.
I do too.
But let's just call it what it is. Yes. Like, that dude is in no shape to be in the Matrix, and he has no interest of getting into shape to be in the Matrix.
We saw him. I think I seen him last. John Wick 4, John 3. I'm sorry. He was
John, and he looks massive.
He looks massive. He's not in. Look, Keanu does what he does. The deal devil was made.
Has kept Keanu Reeves fit, and if you watch Jessica Jones, you saw that the girl who plays Trinity has been. Like, she let herself relax a little bit, but she still had that about her physique. She's like, give me 3 months and I'm in, and that's what she. And they look great.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that in this trailer, it looks like that their powers are almost like Wonder Twinny, where it works a little bit separately, but when they touch each other, when they're together, they really get to unlock all the superpowers. Yeah. So I like that. I want to see more. Like I said, I'm interested, and I'm not super excited. I'm not hyping myself to death. I'm completely prepared for it being bad. But so far, so good.
I mean, we judged by the trailer, right? And there's a very cool transition to the hallway scene. It kind of reminded me of Inception a little bit. It looked dope. I mean, this is a kind of movie with today's technology, because obviously some of the CG's dated, and that's fine. It is what it is. But with this kind of technology, and now this world that we're in with technology and the phones and social media, you can really do a lot with the Matrix, right? And so this is a great time to get this movie rebooted or relaunched or whatever. Listen, fingers crossed, because I want this to be good. Because again, selfishly, I want another one if this is that good.
In a world where we're inundated with like technological breakthroughs and conspiracy theories, there is no better time than for the Matrix to use the idea of the Matrix as a social satire commentary on what we are versus what we want. And I think which is what the first Matrix was. Like, it really hit that note of where we were as a society at the time. And I feel like if you're going to lean into the spirit of the first Matrix to reinterpret the Matrix for a new generation, a soft reboot, a Force Awakens, if you will, like that subject matter is so perfect for now.
It really is.
And so,
I'm hoping that this has a lot of potential, and it looks cool.
Yeah.
Right. This trailer easily could have sucked. We could have seen it like, oh, this is nonsense. But
it could have been so
very
bad.
interesting, some cool action stuff. And look, fingers crossed, December. I'm looking forward to it. I hope they hit it. I hope they hit a park. I really do.
If this and Spider-Man 3 will make my Christmas.
Yeah, that's true. There's two big movies. Yeah, you're right. December, with those two, that alone is, if they're both good, I hope they are. I know one at least is going to be.
And Hawkeye will be playing as well.
Yeah, November.
So it's gonna be a good Christmas.
And Boba Fett. It's a
Boba.
It's a monster Christmas. Yeah. Very exciting. Denis Villeneuve, he's licking his chops. He can't wait till all this to drop. So that being said, those are the nuggets for today.
Those are some good nuggets.
Those are some good nuggets.
It was 3 news stories, 2 of them trailers, and you can never really go wrong with a trailer. Trailers are almost like your dating profile app. And it just shows the best parts. You don't know what you're going to get into once you're in it. You're like, I think I'm going to give this a shot.
Yeah, maybe the girl does the hype pictures. You don't see the whole story, but it looks good.
It's funny. You bring the camera down 3 inches and you get 3 chins. That's very unfair.
So you're right. Yeah. That's a great analogy.
False.
That's a great analogy. I like that a lot.
Whatever.
So let's talk about the shows, and we'll start with the salad. Why not? It's not really a salad, but what the hell? Since we get the 4-course meal. So the first one actually is going to be, I had a mistake here, is Star Wars Visions, which finally dropped yesterday. All 9 episodes, which didn't surprise me after I found out they're very short, like 10, 15, 20 minutes.
They're like 18 to 20, something like that. It's kind of what the number plays.
Exactly. Some less. So the quick, easy, I've seen 5, you've seen 5 of these so far, and dude, what do you think about what you've seen thus far, man?
Well, like right off the bat, my 2 favorite episodes have been episode 1 and episode 5.
I agree.
Episode 1 is the duel.
I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah.
And episode 5 is the 9th Jedi.
Yes.
What I liked about the series as a whole is that every episode feels like it was just like 10 degrees removed from any point of Star Wars history. So like you may not know exactly where it is, but it feels like it could be, or it could be a just complete done in one, like a what if situation. And either one is acceptable.
Sure.
And what better way to introduce the idea of anime reinterpreting Star Wars than episode 1, The Duel, which it literally felt like a Kurosawa film, like black and white, heavy, like samurai culture representation. And the twist on it is that this lone Ronin that's there is not a Jedi. Like that was such a big, like this guy's just a super solid sword fighter / tactician.
Yeah.
And in the course of the series, you see all these like, great classic Star Wars homage moments reinterpreted in a way that you wouldn't expect it through the funnel of like these great classic like samurai movies. And you know this about me, maybe our fan zone, but like I love kung fu and samurai movies. Like that is if there was no superheroes, kung fu and samurai movies. And let's face it,
the original Star Wars with George Lucas was inspired
by Kurosawa.
Right. So it makes perfect sense that this particularly the first episode would be something in that vein. So very cool animation. By the way.
A great way to kind of like pay homage to where Star Wars came from and a new place it's going.
Yeah.
So, and you said you agreed. Episode 1, episode 5.
Episode 1 for sure thus far has been my favorite. 5 is right there, but one really stood out as far as like this. That's how you start the season, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, it hasn't hit those heights, but that's okay. I mean, I don't expect not every episode is great here. It's not overhyped like this is the greatest show we've ever seen. Right?
No.
Obviously, but they're very good story. The second one, obviously, there's actually the only one actually has established Star Wars characters in it. With the second one, Jabba the Hutt and Boba Fett and whatever. So that,
by the way,
which wasn't a great episode, but whatever.
Well, my kids liked it. They're 8 and 12.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah, and it is a heavy music saves the world kind of episode kind of thing,
fine.
Which explains why kids like it. But that's okay because kids need these little like things in there as a break to get through. Like for example, what we're going to talk about. Remind me when we get to What If, my correlation between episode 2 and What If for this week. But it is episode 2 very much more kid friendly than any other episode in the whole series. Like maybe I heard later down the line, but we haven't gotten into that yet, so I can't say for sure. Episode 3, you had the Village Bride, which it was a little bit slower, but I got to tell you, in terms of like getting to know a character, I felt like episode 3 really did a good job of explaining, like showing a Jedi who had been disillusioned because of Order 66, and like, I'm just going to keep my head down. And how, like, no matter how much time you try to keep your head down, eventually shit's going to pop off. And you have a choice of either completely going against who you are as a person or to say, you know, I can't run away from who I am and stepping up. I know some people said that they didn't like episode 3 the most. I actually liked episode 3 more. In terms of like, your character development, like really getting to know your character from like her and also the people around her. Like I thought that was I really liked it. I thought it was really good. The twins is bananas. Episode I think it's episode 3 or 4. I think it's 4. The twins.
3. I forget, but
it is.
Gotcha.
It is. Cool. It is an anime over the top homage to Luke, Leia, Kylo, Rey,
right?
And just like crazy. Like to me, if they added nudity, it could have been like a heavy metal segment, from that old heavy metal. But like it's because it's just like I'm surprised that that episode didn't have like a banana soundtrack because there should have been like a crazy like guitar, like it should have been like it's so over the top that. Like I said, I watched it with my kids, and my kids were they're watching like, what is going on? Like they're freaking out, and I'm like, this is really fun. And they're like, this makes no sense. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't have to. It's not really canon. It's just that some dude going, you know what I want to see is a lightsaber split a Star Destroyer in half.
That's awesome. It's supposed to be bonkers. I mean, I get it's anime, and you see a lot of that in anime, right? That's it's in the vein.
I mean, At the end of the episode, people are floating in space and they're not dying, but the droid has a helmet to survive. Like, what? None of this makes any sense.
It does, honestly, but whatever.
But it was great.
We'll allow it.
So far, out of the 5 episodes, there are 2 episodes that are
really good,
A+, fantastic. Yeah. Then you have 1 episode that's like an A-, maybe B+ if you really hate it, and then there's like 2 solid Bs. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at that, you're looking at maybe like a B+ average, A- average. I mean, you're really
like with that,
so far.
Like any anthology, what do we say? It's always usually a mixed bag, right? A couple of great ones, a couple of decent ones, and that's what this is. But what I like about this is that because I've been pushing to push the boundaries of what Star Wars can go. We know we're getting Mandalorian and like it, and I like it as much as the next guy.
Episode was about pushing the Star Wars to where it can go.
Just can we do something else? And this is a great example of stuff you could do down the road. I love me Mandalorian, I get it, and Ahsoka's coming out, but it's all part of the same universe that we've known and grown to love. Let's expand. Let's go out. Somebody's like the fifth one takes place. God knows so far in the future. We get like the New Order of Jedi. It's interesting. You can still have things like the lightsabers and
I love the fact that they reinterpreted how lightsabers work in this future. And I thought that was
really cool. So I'm saying all these ideas that like are fresh and new that Star Wars needs, and this is a kind of great example of what I want to see Star Wars go as far as when the films down the road and other shows and get away from the familiar. I like the familiar, and that's fine, but we need new blood. We really do, and I think this is what happens when you get someone else some fresh take on it. So give us what this is your interpretation of Star Wars.
You give them a chunk of real estate and said make something.
And they made in the spirit of that, and still give us the stuff that we like and lightsabers and all that cool shit. You have to have that, but different story, different characters. You can go beyond Luke and the Empire. We get it, and not that I don't like it, but I want to see something.
And
It's about time we get something
little homages to let you know, like all that still matters.
Still,
like it's not like it's completely recreated.
They're not reinventing the wheel here. You know, they're not. They just maybe painting it differently. That's it.
Episode 1, they literally have the sand person going like that's a thing.
Right.
I mean, and they're letting you know all of it mattered. All of it is still counts.
It's still there. It's still part of the world, but just a different part of the God. God knows where this is at. And that's what I want to see. And that's what I like to show so much.
And it's so short that there's no party that ever gets like, oh, I'm done with this. Like it's like you are experiencing this.
Yeah, it's short. It hits, wow, and if you don't like it, it's short, right? So again, second episode. Now that's the one people probably don't like the least. And listen, it's short. Whatever, skip it. Fine. Who cares?
You know, it's crazy because I've talked to other Star Wars parents. And everyone says my kids love episode 2. Yeah. So episode 2 is really
it's great for kids.
That's why
exactly.
But like for adults, everyone say 1, 5, and 4, which is the twins, are like the top 3 for the whole thing. And because it's so action heavy, it's so stylistically unique. Like I mean, every episode has its own unique art style, so you can't really like. But like. It is a perfect marriage of the story they're telling and the art style they're using. That they're very smart about what they did. And if you're a Star Wars fan, I think even better. If you're a lapsed Star Wars fan, I feel like this is the kind of project that makes you go, "Oh, that's cool," because it's not a slave to continuity, and you're getting so many different takes on the world.
If you're not a Star Wars fan, but you like anime. I think this is just as good, you know, because you're not going to get I know people who like anime don't like Star Wars. It happens. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that again. But this one doesn't rely much in the lore of Star Wars, what you know about it, so you can still enjoy it.
Yeah, it's all like surface level information that you know, just enough to get you into the world.
Get some good action and animation that you're used to seeing in anime. So it's really I highly recommend. We'll talk about the next 4.
And by the way, I heard a rumor that they're actually making a novel based off the first episode.
I heard that. Which is kind of cool.
So I mean, because if you know Star Wars fans, we love reading books about like continuing legacy shit that has nothing to do with anything that's going on. So as soon as I heard it, I was like, I'm probably have to buy that book now. Damn it. Okay. Or better yet, get me that book on tape and let it be told by like an old Asian guy with a heavy accent, so it really feels like it's of the time.
Ken Watanabe. He comes to mind.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me? Get Lucasfilm, get Ken Watanabe to do the audiobook for this story because it's going to be amazing.
And you get the Rock to do the sound effects, pew pew. That being said, appetizer's coming out, so let's go to the appetizer, and that is, of course, to stay with Disney Plus. And what if the 7th, 8th episode? I think it's 7th episode. We haven't talked about the last 2. Which were good, were solid.
Well, recap. Marvel Zombies, great. You had issues with the tone.
That was my least favorite one out of the bunch.
I actually liked it because I thought the tone was reflective to every part of the show where they were introducing a character. So like it started off feeling like Infinity War, and then it felt like a Spider-Man movie, and then it felt like a WandaVision like the spooky parts of WandaVision. And then it started to feel a little bit like the beginning of Black Panther, and then it felt horrible like the end of Infinity War again. So to me, I loved that kind of like up and ebb and flow of the tones. You had issues with it. I happen to like it. And then there was the Killmonger saves Tony Stark episode, which we both had problems. You said you were kind of bummed out. If I'm not mistaken, you told me you were kind of bummed out because it wasn't as big, as world changing as some of the other episodes have been.
Yeah, it was okay. It was like, Killmonger. It's the same plan he had before, just executed it early. That's basically kind of what it is. So.
Well, and that to me, it was cool. That was my point was that his plan was so good. It doesn't matter what circumstance he's in, he'll make that work.
It was going to work either way. So it was cool.
Yeah,
like I said,
exactly.
it wasn't. It was fine. It was decent. It was a good episode.
Much like the Star Wars Visions episode where you had the bride, where it was that Jedi in hiding.
Oh, right.
I really liked the characterization of Killmonger to the point, like one of the best lines of the series is as he's killing Tony Stark, he's like, the difference between you and me is you don't realize the difference between you and me. Like that is cool. Not only a great line, but also a great Killmonger line to tell someone as he's killing him.
That was cool.
Like it's like, I really enjoy that. But all that being said, it led to this week's episode, which is what if Thor was an only child, or as everyone's calling it, Party Thor.
Yeah, this is an Animal House starring Thor and Jim Belushi. It's what this was.
It was almost on the line of like the last 30 minutes of Weird Science.
We need to chat the literal piece of shit, literally.
Which, oddly enough, Robert Downey Jr. is in as well. So it's all very
yes,
Marvel.
You're right. It all ties
in.
in.
It all comes back in.
All
comes in. Yeah.
That's probably the weird hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one, it was a funny episode. It was very light.
Right, very light. And I think we needed that because we
Sure.
haven't had a light episode since episode 2. Shit's been getting real depressing.
That's fair. Yeah.
Even the zombie episode, which tried to be light, you're still losing like people as you go along. So it's like you gotta be like, haha, for so long before you're like, shit, I think we're all gonna die. So it was nice to see something where everything kind of worked out for everybody at the end. I love Party Thor. You know what? Talk about leaving your mark on the character. There is no more Thor without Taika Waititi. Like Taika has made Thor what Thor is now. Like this,
no question.
Even though it takes place during Thor 1, it feels like Ragnarok. Like it is very much in that mindset of it all.
Some of the same characters come back. I mean, we got the Guardians in there, and
I mean, almost every star space character was there.
Like Yondu's there. Everyone's there, yucking it up.
Who are those golden people from Guardians 2? The Serenity or something like that, or something like that. Right.
I mean, everybody's there.
Yeah, like the sex robots are there as well. Like everyone is there. It is like I don't know. I would have liked to see like maybe Iron Man or Hulk show up because that is during Fury's big week.
Yeah, I was wondering about what was anyone else that kind of because that Hulk was established.
But to me, I feel like
Iron Man's established. I thought he maybe could have helped, but whatever.
Right. The way I see it is Thor is such a party animal. He kicks Tony's alcoholism into full drive. And so Tony's plastered somewhere, like maybe he's in Washington, D.C., but he's in the reflective memorial pool and he's passed out. And fucking Thor's awesome! Like, I don't know, something like that. So like that's why Fury couldn't count on him, so he had to go try to handle things and gets knocked out of the way by Korg doing a cannonball. Like, such fun references. I really, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because it was light. And, I've had this talk with a few people, which is like, when Iron Man 1 came out, it was the same summer that The Dark Knight came out. And everyone's like, oh, Dark Knight's the greatest movie ever. But this is what superhero movie should be. And I agree with all of that. But as great as The Dark Knight is, I actually like Iron Man a little bit more. And the reason why is it's harder to pull off happy, funny, and optimistic than it is dark. Everyone can be like, oh, dark and brooding. And especially a Batman movie, like, unless you put nipples on him, there's no way to mess up the movie. Like, so it's just going to be good. But if you're making a happy movie, a light movie, an optimistic movie, it is infinitely harder because you can go from like nailing it to like cheesy and trying too hard, and then you just lost the whole movie. Like it is. So you got to walk that tightrope, and that's why I give Iron Man more credit, just like by a hair, because stuck that tightrope and the landing and then launched the entire universe off of it. So that's why and I feel like these comedy episodes, the fact that they are working, I give more credit to than like an episode like episode 3 where Hank Pym calls the Avengers or Doctor Strange destroys, which by the way, I still think that Doctor Strange episode is probably the best episode, but it is a tie to me. It is a tie between the Doctor Strange episode and the Star-Lord episode. Like, I feel like both of those are so good in just differently, but they're so good that I can't pick one between the other first place. And I feel like Party Thor is very much in the vein of the Star-Lord episode. So I really like, I know you didn't like this. It's a very light. It's not as like.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, and I hear you saying about the brooding versus the light and fluffy and all that, but at the time it was all fluffy for the most part. So, remember, they were either very campy or lean more towards the light side for the most part. Even the Batman, Tim Burton's, was still kind of campy, right?
Well, I feel like the Matrix was like, the Matrix leaned in dark.
No,
like
but it's talking about superhero films.
For everything. So.
Just superhero films, not a.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's dark. Yeah, dark. Of course, dark films. But either way, that's neither here nor there. But it's good episode. I enjoyed it. It was funny. It was fine. Whatever. A couple left, so I'm kind of curious. I forget which ones are remaining. To be honest with you, I don't remember. But
there's 2 episodes left. There's the Gamora as Thanos episode with the Gamora.
Yeah.
And then the last episode is the stinger from this episode, because just when things are looking awesome and Thor's walking away and I got a date with a human, gotta knock Midgard boots. Like, he's all struggling. I don't know where even the Watcher's like, wait, what? And that's when a portal opens up and a platoon of Ultrons walk in with the King Ultron with all the Infinity Stones on his chest, and then he's got the Mind Stone on his head, and then the face opens up, and it's Vision inside Ultron. Like, holy shit.
It was cool. That was a cool scene.
That was, like, if everyone's like, so is What If connected? Yeah, that's what's going to connect all of What If. Because you've seen this in the trailers where Party Thor is talking to, like, Dark Strange, and then Dark Strange is talking to Captain Carter. That's the threat that the Watcher's like, I gotta pick whoever survived these past 7-8 episodes to make a team, because this shit's about to get bananas. And I'm here for that. I love the fact that they're connecting all together. I love the fact that if every episode of What If has a little, like, Avengers-esque roundup at the last 2 episodes, I love shit like that. So you got me on that. Like, I'm like, cool, let's see that. And I want to see, like, from comic books, as a comic book fan, we were taught in, like, the early 2000s that the Infinity Stones only work in the universe those stones come from. So the fact that he's opening portals and using stones to do something, like, how did he hack the Infinity Stones? Like, that's what I want to see. Like, to me, that the questions gets me excited for the series again. Because, like, you're taking all this, like, even in Loki, they show when you go out of time, the stones don't do anything.
Right.
So, and that's always been the rule of the Infinity Stone. So if he's somehow, maybe it's because the Mind Stone is part of him, so he's able to, like, hack him through the rest of the combination of the stones. And I don't know, but I want to see, because listen, Marvel has done a bang up job letting you know, oh, we know all the rules, but did you think about this? And I'm like, oh, I did it. So that's awesome. So I want to see how they're going to show how he did that. So that just got me more excited for the next 2 episodes. More than the series itself I've been enjoying independently. This new thrust to it sounds awesome.
Yeah, looking for, hopefully, it's as good as the other ones. But you're right, Doctor Strange is still the best one. Third course here. Third course is the main course of the meal, and that is, of course, our favorite, Titans, the show we love to hate and want to love.
Why is this the main course? Why is this the main course?
Because it's the third one in 9. I don't know what to tell you. But the dessert is nice.
I know. Dessert's great.
So here, listen. So we started off loving the show. Well, that might be a strong word, but really liking the first 3 episodes, right?
Really caught off guard and enthusiastic about what's next. That's what the first 3 episodes
right, and then it kind of did with Titans. Well, even worse than what Titans.
It got addicted to meth and started tricking on the streets.
Things are working out. But we won't talk about the last 2 episodes, but I think we both agree we enjoyed them. We liked them.
Yeah,
it was definitely back on track.
Getting better.
Right? It kept back on track.
Much better.
Yeah, okay. This is, like, as I was saying, let's end well, right? So far so good. And here comes episode 9, and we finally get Raven back. We get Donna back. Yeah. We get some Hank back. Yeah. We'll talk about him in a second. But overall, what you thought about this episode? Is it in line with the last couple?
I think it's in line with the last couple. I really liked, even though the whole idea of, like, living in, like, a void, where things make sense but they don't make sense, feels very, very Buffy the Vampire Hunter, or very
sure.
I really did enjoy this. It was great to see Hank and seeing him be the Hank that I like, which is, like, more, like, super confident what he can do, and, like, not being a slave to his faults and his shortcomings, but just owning what he is and who he is now. I thought this episode was a great reaffirmation to that. Even at the end of the episode, where they re-linked him up, spoiler alert, they re-linked him up with his brother, and so now they're gonna, like, fight crime in purgatory. Like, that's awesome. Like, I really like that idea. It's super silly, but I really enjoyed it. They brought back Donna Troy. They brought back Tim Drake out of this whole thing. But I think the thing that Titans has done and keeps doing is letting us know that this world's Batman sucks the biggest balls in the entire, like, he's getting ready to kill himself. Like, fuck you. Like I get it. Batman can't be the star of the show, but don't make him what he is. Holy shit. Like, it is, Batman is not an older version of geez, I'm so mad I forgot his name. Who's the guy from Nirvana who killed himself?
Oh, Cobain.
Yeah, he's not Kurt Cobain. He's not like, oh, I'm so tortured. Like he's tortured. That's why he beats up bad guys because bad guys kill his parents. Like that's the kind of choice. So not like I killed the Joker. I'm not a good superhero. Gaslight. Fuck you. Like just make. You know what they should have done? This is what they should have done. Is the series should have started with season 1 should have been the way season 1 is. Season 2, Batman should have had his back broken by Bane. Or if you wanted to change it to keep what season 2 is, he should have had his back broken by Deathstroke. And then you write him off. He is on a quest to try to figure out how to fix his back, and you could keep that on the back burner until the series is over. Just get him out of there. What they make Bruce Wayne be and do all the time, I'm just like, oh my God, you are the worst Batman ever. Like, how is this?
Captain Friendzone, I'm telling you. If Khaleesi would have given it up,
dude,
would have been a whole different Batman.
It is embarrassing. Like, the fact that Dick Grayson is as competent as he is in spite of the fact that Batman is who he is.
It's a testament to how badass he is.
Yeah, like to
go through that.
Trust me, I'm not that guy. That's why I have to leave. That dude's a bummer. Like it is. Like maybe that's why Superman and Wonder Woman never hang out of the show with him because like that guy sucks. He's like an over the hill Morrissey, which is already over the hill. So it really like I'm done. I'm done with this.
That was the only part I didn't like. Everything else I thought was a good episode. And I'm so glad, and we talked about this, where I was really afraid they were going to bring Hank back. And I'm like, because that would have really just undermined the great beginning to the season, right?
Right.
And I don't want to see you kill someone, kill somebody. You can bring it back in this fashion, it's fine, it's the afterlife. Okay, fine, no big deal.
It's classic comic book tropes. People
right,
die,
exactly. But I'm so glad that he didn't make it through back to
and like
whatever.
I told you, if they just brought back Donna Troy, they're not going to bring Hank back until next season. They're going to give it one season.
If they want to bring him back later, fine, but just not it was too soon to bring him back. And we knew Donna was going to come back, but that was already established.
She was on the poster, so yeah.
Right, so we knew. So that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Her death didn't hit as much as what Hank's death did at the end of the day. Right.
I love the fact that they called it out. That like I died in a carnival. Like fuck you. Like that was funny. I told you when I watched the season 2 and I was like, fucking carnival, really? Ugh, gross.
So I'm glad she got very meta with that, which is kind of cool. So I like her. Glad she's back, and I'm not surprised. But thank God Hank is technically dead or whatever. He's still being shown in some capacity, but yeah, they didn't ruin what they started.
The fact that she had to save Bruce Wayne from killing Fireside, I'm like, oh, fuck you. Fuck everything about this. Like,
I don't know why she ended up there, but maybe to explain it, but that was, it was an odd decision, whatever.
Because no one else would have given a shit about him dying.
And Donald just happened to be, like, hey, what the hell is this kid? It was weird. So, but listen, it's still a decent episode. I mean, it's back where it needs to be.
This
right?
was the past 3 episodes have been within the same range of competent and well executed and building tension. I give you all that credit. Yes, you're right about it. But there's one moment in every episode where I still go, oh, fuck, guys, come on.
Yeah, it's not perfect, obviously, but
it's always one moment in the episode where it's
keeping us in, for the most part. We're not bailing on the show. It's just doing enough to keep us interested in. Again, there's 3 or 4 episodes left, so they can still end with the bang, hopefully.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, hoping. So either way, so dessert time.
Yay!
This is dessert because this is a show we're very excited to finally drop again. 3 episodes dropped on HBO Max. You've seen 1.5. I've seen the first 2. Came out today, so there's only so much time that we have here. It is what it is. So let's get to it. Listen, because I love Doom Patrol. This is DC's best show on TV anyway.
I will say I'm really getting into Superman and Lois. I decided to sit down and watch it objectively. And I've been watching 3 episodes in a row kind of thing. I'm like, yeah, this is. It's probably the best CW show I've seen. And the Flash was a standard bearer.
Yeah, but, and a lot of people have said that, so it's fine.
But right? Doom Patrol, hands down, the best DC show ever.
It shows so bonkers. And it's weird. And I'll say this, the first episode was kind of weird. Because, and this is not their fault. Because, season 2 ended kind of abruptly. And COVID, they had to start production, so they released what it was. So we never got a real ending or setup at the same time. So the first episode served as giving us the ending to season 2, right? While setting up the nuggets for what's going to happen this season. So it was kind of an odd episode to come out first. It had to do it. I get it. So I'm not going to fault the show for that. It was okay. It was fine. I guess I didn't like the whole storyline as far as with the kid.
With Crazy Jane?
Right, whatever. So I'm glad
And
that's
Dorothy, right?
okay.
Yeah,
Dorothy, we're done with that for the most part.
sure.
Okay, wrap things up and set it up. So it was kind of a weird episode. Um, the second one I thought really, now this is Doom Patrol. Now
Yeah.
it's back on track, right? That kind of weirdness, the quirkiness it embraces. I don't know if you met the character yet, the
Oh,
alien guy. I forgot his name.
yeah. Like I said,
Okay,
I saw a little bit more than half
did you see
where.
the scene with him in the sauna or no?
Oh, okay. So
Okay, so I won't say anything. So this is yeah.
I saw the beginning where the evil mastermind and Monsieur Masala, the French speaking gorilla.
Oh my god, that is so classic Doom
Like
Patrol. It's like,
I
nah,
love
this is what I'm
that.
talking about, right? That's
And by the
awesome.
way, for any parent who has a kid that's like 12 years old or younger, if you've watched Teen Titans Go, you've seen them on the show. And you're like, this is the most ridiculous kid cartoon setup. They would never do this in real life. And then you see it's from Doom Patrol, and it is exactly what you thought it was.
And
it is.
It works. That's
so
the strangest
good.
thing. It shouldn't work.
So good.
On paper is ridiculous, but it works.
It works
and
so
yeah,
well.
and this episode was really good. This to me, this was the first episode of the season, as far as I'm concerned, right?
Yeah, this really felt like the
was.
first episode about the new direction
Exactly.
of the season.
Yeah, and it was,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
And it ends really well. I won't say anything, but
I don't. Right.
You're like, oh, what the?
I love
it's
the
like it's like an
villain.
oh shit moment. I was like, oh wow, okay. I'm in.
When they introduced the villain for this episode, which when you first walked in, I go, "Is that Brainiac?" Because I thought it was Brainiac because he's a big like muscular green dude.
But the green
like
guy. Oh, I thought you were talking about the woman that came.
No. That's late. That's yeah.
The Underminer.
The Underminer.
But anyway, but yeah, this I forgot his name.
I forgot his name too.
Gal-
But he's like a multi galaxy conqueror kind of thing. And you don't realize until later on in the episode when he takes off his shirt. This dude's jacked. I thought he was like a heavy set dude.
No, he's jacked. And I seen the actors. I thought I recognized the actor. I didn't, but I looked him up, and he's a big guy.
What I didn't realize is that his sidekick, the little red guy who plays the record player every time he walks in the room, that's what's his name from Lord of the Rings. He's one of the hobbits.
Oh no, is that who he is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting. I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah,
Which makes sense.
I was looking at his face. I go, his face looks really familiar. And Aaron talking, I go, oh shit, he's the guy. He's the hobbit who sings that really sad song while the king sends his son to go fight the orcs and die. That's who he is. I forgot his name is. Yeah, because every time I think about the hobbits, I automatically think Elijah Woods, or I think Rudy, or I think the guy from Lost. So, but I always forget that fourth hobbit, and he is that fourth hobbit. So
he's the missing hobbit. And he's great. He has a great scene because you get more he's the villain going to be, but then something happens, and as the story progresses.
As Doom Patrol usually
I'm
goes.
not sure how. Yeah, I'm not sure how deep you're into. So I won't say much, but there's a scene there that kind of sheds new light on the character.
So everyone knows, I'm at the part where they just got to the resort on a vacation. This basically episode is like Doom Patrol decides to go on vacation, and they just got to their vacation location, and I had to go record this. So I was doing the work. I was trying to put in the work.
It didn't work. No, but it's
enjoying
like I said, like forget the first episode. First episode is what it is, right? But based on the first one, it's on track. This is Doom Patrol, right? That from season 1. I like season 2. I did, but it was it was a little let down towards the end.
Yeah,
but yeah, I can't wait to see. I wanted to see it though, but again, time was only short and whatever.
I'll tell you what, because
I'm watching the third one soon.
Of them having, as soon as we're done over here, I'm gonna go back and finish watching 2 and jump up to 3. But the thing I thought was really interesting was they had to cut season 2 short because of COVID. So season 3 comes in, and you're thinking, well, if anyone's going to be around in the series, it's going to be Robot Man and Mr. Negative because they're already wearing masks. And they write Mr. Negative off to go into space. And I'm like, holy shit, like you're throwing away all the potential protocols. Like all the shortcuts you would have had are now gone. Now you actually have to be careful. Like crap.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Actually, there is more to I don't know where you're at with this guy. But either way.
Next week we'll talk about more.
Yeah, this is a show that people should be. I mean, it's not for everybody, right? It's almost like Suicide Squad in the vein, and it's out there. And I don't think not everyone's gonna like this show, and I get it. But if you have an open mind, you don't mind that.
I was talking to a buddy of mine who hates. He's an artist, and he draws comics, but he hates superhero TV shows. He's like, I watch movies. Most super TV shows, I don't like it. It's whatever. And I told him, have you seen Doom Patrol? I was like, no, I've never seen Doom Patrol. I go, dude. They're about to launch season 3, and I have not seen a single fight, like a real superhero fight, in this entire series. Yeah. It is all about character exploration, dealing with trauma, and happy to deal with the bananas of like the most ridiculous aspects about being a superhero all at the same time. He's like, oh man, I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
So we were just talking this past weekend.
Superhero show.
Very much so. Very much so. And he's like, dude, I'm like about to finish season 1. And everything you said, you're absolutely 100% right. He goes, you told me to watch Invincible when I didn't think Invincible was good. And you're right. I loved it. And now you told me to watch this, and I thought you were wrong. And I can't wait to get to season 2 because this is more than I ever expected. Because it is that crazy. Like I said, 90% of what's in this series should not work. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
It's ridiculous. It really is. But
which is a testament to what the series is based on, which is the Grant Morrison run of Doom Patrol, which helped bring out the vertigo-ness of DC Comics for like a good 10, 20 years. Okay. This is the brilliance of Grant Morrison. This is the brilliance of like how everything in comic books, good or bad, can be utilized for better if you trust the material and use it to your benefit. And nothing is crazier than like 1950s over the top ridiculousness played straight. Like it's exactly. So good.
Yeah, and it's just the show sensibilities. And again, when you execute it right, the impossible becomes possible. Yeah. This is what this show does, man. Again, anybody else pulls this off, it doesn't work. It just wouldn't work in Marvel, not like this.
No,
it wouldn't work in DC. It wouldn't work in so. It's just it works here for whatever that's worth. It works. I would love to see that. The only guy I could see as far as like directors have done this kind of stuff, and maybe James Gunn.
Yeah,
I could see kind of fit in just perfectly in a show like this.
Like right? someone told me, well, like Taika Waititi. I was like, no, this would not be Taika's because Taika is almost like a little bit like charming and like silly, yes. And this is not that. It's not charming and silly. There's a lot of dark show.
This is a heavy show,
and it's the fact that these people are so broken and almost a little too involved in themselves. You never really get to deal with the true issues and darkness that's around them because they're so self-involved.
Taika, and he can do heavy stuff, but I think it may be almost too light to some degrray, right?
Too light. Is that very too light?
I think James Gunn is probably the only one I can think of that was done the superhero films.
I think James Gunn. I'm trying to see if there's anyone else. I'm sure
they're just thinking like just names that done superhero films only, not any director. I'll tell you what. Those.
You know who else who pulled this off? Even though it'd be more talky, it would be Quentin Tarantino. I think Quentin Tarantino could pull this off just on the conversations, on the talks they have to have with each other. It would be much more involved and brutal. Honestly,
I think if he doesn't write it, then yes. Because you're right. It's just going to be it's just going to be a conversation for 30 minutes and it's cool, but. Yeah, that's not his thing. I love Tarantino. Don't get me wrong, but that's not his. This is not his thing. But, like I said, if they give him a script here, do exactly like this. Yes, I think.
That's the thing. That's how deep within the directorial catalog of people you have to go to because it's not an easy thing to handle. So you would do James Gunn, and then you have to go like Quentin Tarantino is your backup if you can't get James Gunn. Like that's how hard this kind of thing is.
He can't change.
With a script, with a pre-written
script. He can't change.
He can bring nothing to the table.
I mean, he can do some tweaks, some ad-libs, fine, but no, this. I don't want that. I just listen. It just doesn't quite work. So, but no, it's a great start to the season. We'll obviously take deeper dives as we get into it. And episode 3, we'll do 3 and 4 next week. Thursday and all that. What if episode 7 we'll finish off. Visions as well.
Well, for Visions as well, yeah. So we'll get
it. And this will be. I think that'll be last week. We do all 4 shows because
I think so.
What If's got one more, and then
Visions will be gone.
Right.
Exactly. Then but as always, there's so much more stuff coming out all the time. Yeah. Thank God. Yeah. So if you're trying to avoid your problems, this is it, guys. It's going to be nonstop. You won't have to fix yourself until you're too broken to actually care. So, hooray, comics.
But that being said,
that has been the show. That is it. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Nerdsplaining. We appreciate all the fanfare and attention you've given us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because that shit helps us and we want us to do this more often. So please share it to your friends. Tell more people about it. We really do appreciate it. As always, you can check out all these shows and more on the Latin Nerd News Network. Jose has a great show called The Watch, if I'm not mistaken, right? The Watch List, where he covers all other TV. There's nothing to do with superheroes. Just what's out there, what's
shows,
good.
Everything that comes on streaming every week we watch.
He does major previews of movies that have not come out yet, much like Shang-Chi. So you get to get the first scoop on that.
Venom.
And of
I'm not
course,
sure yet, but I hope Venom.
Oh, well, are you going to watch it day of or prior to?
I should be. I'm still trying to get the tickets, but they're being. I don't know. I just for some reason they haven't released anything yet, so I'm hoping it's before. I've got other stuff, but nothing that's that level. But I'm hoping.
And by the way, quick announcement. I didn't even tell you about this. Next weekend, I will be in Miami for 2 days. So if you do a late night showing of Venom, maybe I'll join you. We could do a whole Nerdsplaining like live afterwards. That might be an idea. Just putting it out there because. So with a surprise. And if not, it would be like this always. So it'd be fun as well. And guys, you can check out all the episodes of Nerdsplaining on Latin News Network. Really appreciate it. And if you want to hear the audio episodes of when we just did straight audio podcasting, you can go to ericdasilva.com. All those episodes are there as well. And if you're at ericdasilva.com, don't forget to buy my album, Adorably Offensive. I really appreciate it. Christmas is coming up. This is a great album for someone you love, a better album for somebody you hate. So if you really want to stick it to them, buy this album. It's a good way to go. And guys, as always, that has been the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Nerdsplaining. My name is Eric Da Silva. This has been Jose Romero. And if you don't know, now you know. Peace.